It was a Thursday night when her message came through. Working late again. Don't wait up. For a moment, I just stared at the screen, the faint blue glow reflecting off my coffee mug. She'd said those words before, but something about tonight felt different. Maybe it was the way she left that morning, distant, distracted, wearing that perfume she only used on weekends. I believe her excuses 100 times before, but once trust begins to crack, it never sounds the same again. On my way home that evening, I happened to drive past her office, a road I'd never taken before, or at least that's what I told myself. But coincidences aren't always accidents. Sometimes they're confirmation. And there she was, not inside, not working late. I saw her leaving the building, laughing with him, the same man she'd once dismissed as just a friend from marketing. They walked side by side, hands brushing lightly as they crossed the parking lot. Too casual, too familiar. I didn't move. My hands gripped the steering wheel, but my chest felt hollow. It's strange, when betrayal finally reveals itself. It doesn't arrive with noise. It whispers. Cold, quiet. When she texted again later, I didn't explode. I didn't confront. I simply typed, "Funny, I just saw you leave with him." The typing dots appeared, then vanished, then appeared again, and then nothing. That night, I didn't sleep. I sat on the couch, the faint trace of her perfume still hanging in the air. Sweet once, now bitter. I kept wondering when things had started to slip. Maybe it hadn't been sudden at all. Just a slow fade, a quiet erosion I'd ignored because love makes excuses. In the morning, she came home like nothing had happened. Smiling faintly, she kissed my cheek and poured her coffee. I wanted to ask why, but some silences speak louder than confrontation ever could. She sat across from me at the table, scrolling through her phone. Sunlight filtered through the blinds, drawing soft lines across her face, familiar, beautiful, and suddenly unrecognizable. She started talking about her long night, the endless reports, the meeting that ran late. Each word felt dull, rehearsed. I didn't argue. I just nodded, pretending to believe in the world we'd once built. But inside, something in me had shifted. The man who once begged for her time was gone. The silence between us wasn't peace anymore. It was a negotiation. Her lies against my restraint. She looked up, maybe sensing something had changed, and asked, "Why are you so quiet?" I smiled faintly. "Just thinking about how hard you work," I said. She froze for a heartbeat, guilt, or irritation, flashing her eyes, then turned back to her phone. The days that followed only confirmed what I already knew. More late nights, thinner excuses. The affection vanished entirely. We'd become polite strangers, two actors performing the final scene of a love that had already ended. One evening, I scrolled through old photos, birthdays, trips, the small moments we'd once shared. In those pictures, she looked real, like someone who had chosen me. But now I wasn't sure if that woman ever existed, or if I'd just fallen in love with my own illusion. That night, when she said she was leaving for work, I didn't follow. I didn't check her phone. I didn't need proof anymore. I already had peace, the kind that comes when you stop begging for honesty. I sat on the balcony, watching the city lights shimmer. Each one, I thought, belonged to someone still trying to hold on. Around midnight, her message arrived. "Don't wake up." And for the first time, I didn't. I turned off my phone, closed my eyes, and let the world go quiet. Somewhere between her lies and my silence, love had finally died. The next morning, she came home to find her suitcase waiting by the door. For a second, she just stood there, staring at me, then at the bag. "What is this?" she asked, her voice trembling, not from sadness, but disbelief that I finally stopped playing my part. I met her gaze calmly. "You said you've been working late," I said softly. "Now you can take some time off." Her lips parted, reaching for another excuse, but the words never came. She gave a short, nervous laugh, the one she used when she wanted to shrink the truth. "You're overreacting, Ethan. It's not what it looked like." I nodded slowly. "You're right," I said. "It's exactly what it was." She tried to explain, to cry, to twist the story, but I wasn't listening anymore. My silence shook her more than my anger ever had. She was used to my shouting my forgiveness, not my indifference. When she realized I wasn't going to stop her, she whispered, "So that's it. You're just giving up on us." I looked at her for a long moment. "No," I said quietly. "You gave up first. I'm just accepting it." Tears welled in her eyes, tears she hadn't expected to shed. Maybe she thought I'd never have the strength to let her go. Maybe she counted on me to keep fighting for what she'd already destroyed. As she walked out, the door clicked shut behind her. No shouting, no goodbye, just finality. For a while, I stood in the silence, breathing it in. It wasn't peace yet, but it was the start of it. Weeks passed. I started living again, piece by piece. Dinner for one, evening walks, sleep without checking my phone. The world hadn't ended. It had just become quieter. Sometimes I still think about that night she texted, working late again. But now it doesn't hurt. It reminds me that lies can end a marriage, but silence can save a soul. And mine finally was,